this is the boys' review of It, the 2017 movie. And go.
Alright, so, in a world where, or in a kind of era right now of horror movies where there's oversaturation of just one-dimensional, quick, money-hungry, micro-budget movies that rely on, like, jump scares and not really anything else, it's refreshing to see a movie where there's more build and, like, atmosphere and tension rather than just cheap jump scare after cheap jump scare with like bad effects that don't reveal much. With It, the adaptation of It, we finally get a horror movie that's made for wide audiences, where you can root for the heroes or root for the normal people or the victims of the monster. The performances are great. Not everyone is amazing, but the kids are serviceable, and obviously Pennywise himself great as well. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest problem it seems like people are having is that it's not scary, and that's because I think people, since they're oversaturated to that jump scare culture where it's just silence and then you get jump scared, and yeah, everyone gets startled, but you're not necessarily scared, you're just embracing that, or you're bracing for that jump scare, right? I think people are annoyed that it was more, there was more showing. There were scenes that took place in broad daylight, right? There was a lot of broad daylight scenes that happened in the movie, and that's what made it more interesting to me. A lot of the scenes, I don't want to go into be spoilerly with it, right? Because I don't know if who's gonna watch this, but a lot of the daytime scenes and a lot of the scenes that revealed things were, to me, scarier than something that's just in the dark with dark lighting and stuff like that.
And Logan, what about your thoughts on it? Because you've seen the miniseries, right? Did you see the miniseries?
No.
Which It did you guys see?
I mean, I've seen both the miniseries and this, and I'll tell you.
And you read the book, right?
Yeah, I've read the book.
And Logan, you're currently reading the book.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So my thing is, right, I agree. The way all horror movies are, it's more jump scares. Like if your friend scares you, right? Like you're like, wow, and you get scared for that second. But you're not terrified of your friend. You're not scared of your friend. He scared you for that second.
Right.
But if he looks at you, right? He has a knife in his hand. It says, "Watch when you sleep." You're gonna be like, you're gonna be more terrified of your friend than he did when he just went, "Wow." That's why most horror movies today, like, you don't think about it afterwards, because it's just like all you were scared of was the blah blah blah. That's the only thing that got you scared. So after the movie, it's like, well, what is there to talk about? He came at you. There's nothing else. With this movie, it's like you think about it afterwards. With Pennywise and the way he uses his fears, right? He uses your greatest fears to scare you, not a jump scare, like with the scene with the painting. This is in the movie, right?
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers. Well, if you didn't see the movie, then
I don't
understand. If you didn't see it, I don't know how to understand how you could critique it. But from what I saw, there were scenes where it's just like, whoa, like you're creeped out.
It's unsettling.
They didn't jump scare you, but it's creeped out. And then after the movie, you're gonna say, oh, that scene was like great, or oh, that scene was spooky.
Now you guys, I sat with you for the first part of the movie, and then I went to go check on Michaela and ended up sitting downstairs. Yet, could you tell I was still watching a movie?
Yes, because we heard you. And here's the thing, okay? The reason there's such a well reception, besides the kids being good actors and it being enjoyed, on the writing not being terrible and stuff like that, is that the show not tell thing. The imagery in this movie was amazing. Like, there was a lot of good practical effects and a lot of stuff that just grossed you out. Now, me and Logan, we love horror movies. We watch them all the time. We don't get scared, but we didn't need to be scared to appreciate these horror movies. We didn't need to, or this horror movie. Because we understood that this was creepy imagery, it was cool imagery, and it was a good movie because the premise and the story of it was good.
Okay.
And everything was believable. So, I mean, if you think that because you don't have a clown phobia, you can't see this movie, that doesn't make sense. Because if you say that means you haven't either read the book or you just watched the miniseries, because in the miniseries, all Tim Curry, that's his name?
Yeah.
All he does is act like a scary clown. The miniseries is terrible. And it's not because it's dated, because there are movies from that time that are good. Okay, there are movies that kind of like convey that H.P. Lovecraftian thing, like The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing from almost 10 years prior to that is a great example of a creature that is like that feels there's hopelessness in that creature, right? That is beyond our understanding. Pennywise in this new movie conveys that. He is more than just a clown. The way he acts, the way he moves, everything conveys that he's just a clown on the surface, that it just looks like a clown. In the miniseries, it's just a killer clown. Like, yeah, his performance is great, but that's the only thing that matters. You don't root for the kids or the adults because you don't care, because their acting is terrible and the writing's okay. It's not even okay. It's like toward the latter part with the adult is unbearable. It's hard to sit through. It's really hard to sit through. The kids part is kind of okay, but of course in a made-for-TV movie of Stephen King's, especially after reading the book, like if I saw it on paper, I'd be like, how's it even gonna be good? Because it's a made-for-TV movie. So either.
But you also have to remember it's made for TV, so there's lots of things that limit you.
And I don't like either it's blind nostalgia that allows people to enjoy it. But look, it's your opinion. You can have your opinion. But in all honesty, I'm glad that this movie made a lot of money and that they're going to be able to continue doing stuff like this.
What about you, Logan?
So I'd like to add on.
You're the one that made me want to see this movie, and you know me. I don't like being scared.
I made you want to see this movie because I know jump scares could get anyone. Jump scares can get literally anyone. I wanted you to see this movie because I know it has scenes that'll make you go and creep you out.
Yeah.
Because it's more than just a jump scare. And also, horror movies I think are better when you actually see the characters develop. Like in The Thing, which was before the miniseries, right? You actually see the characters get smarter. They start doing smarter things after the situations they've already been through.
Yeah.
You see the kids develop over time, and like
in this movie.
I love the Friday the 13th. I love the Nightmare on Elm Street, but you don't see the characters get smarter.
You don't care about the characters.
You don't see they're either having sex in the woods or getting dumber as the movie goes on. But with these characters, you actually see them. They get smarter. The situations they've already been through, they're using that towards the end of the movie, which was part of the reason you want to root for these characters. And when you're rooting for the characters and bad stuff and scary stuff is happening to them, it makes it more intense and more suspenseful because like I want you to live. I don't want that guy to die.
Exactly.
It's like,
that's true horror. Seeing people who don't deserve to die. That's horror. Seeing people you don't care about is not horror. A horror movie invokes that feeling in you. If it doesn't do that, it's not a good horror movie.
Okay. All right, I gotta stop this because we went over, I think, 6 minutes. So.
Okay.
Thank you.